Right now on Nightside, safety on Connecticut's highways, a special program this weekend by state police and other agencies up and down I-95. Making marijuana legal. The fight continues tomorrow in Hartford with state officials planning a crucial vote. Another White House shakeup. She's at the center of the immigration fight tonight. She's out. Who's going to replace the Homeland Security Secretary? I'm Nick Madanis. You're watching News 12 Nightside. Wrapping up the weekend. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for being with us tonight as we take a look at our community camera in Norwalk. What can we expect for our Monday morning? Meteorologist Michelle Powers here with the answer. Michelle.
Yes, Nick, I know. Already back to work, back to school in the morning, and we're talking about mild temperatures, number one, but we're also going to be looking at some rain. So first of all, now for the rest of the night, temperatures will just drop a couple more degrees. That's about it. It is not very cold at all. The wind flow has lightened up a touch, but the direction is still coming up out of the south, and that's a mild direction for us, except anywhere along the Sound Shore there may feel a little bit cooler because water temperatures are still a little cool. But everywhere around the region right now, not bad at all. The warmth has moved into the northeast. There's another batch of warm air that will continue to move through, and really the leading edge of it is southwest of us right now. You can see it outlined in some of that rain. This is what's coming at us for the morning, and as we go overnight into the morning, rain will be with us. Roads will be wet for that morning commute. Eventually, the showers will be tapering during the late morning into the afternoon. And then there could be another batch later in the day and maybe an embedded thunderstorm in there. Temperatures stay mild now and they get even warmer for tomorrow. So make sure you have those umbrellas in hand, probably the rain jackets too, when you head out the door in the morning. I'll have much more on that forecast coming up. Nick, back to you.
Michelle, thank you. A Bridgeport activist says local gang members should follow the example of their counterparts in California. They have called a truce after the murder of rapper Nipsey Hussle. Wayne Winston says if rival gangs can put aside differences out of respect to a musician who won over both sides, gang members in Bridgeport can do the same.
Nipsey isn't with us anymore, but if we take that lesson that even in a place where these people, sworn enemies for decades, can find a way to figure out maybe we don't need to do this so much, I hope that we can catch on to that message here, because a lot of people don't know and they don't understand, and that's what I hope today that they get.
Police arrested 29-year-old Eric Holder and charged him with Nipsey Hussle's murder. Senator Richard Blumenthal today calling for an insurance company to pay up 2 years after a drunken driving accident leaves a Bridgeport woman seriously injured. Mercedes Bowman meeting today with Blumenthal and Bridgeport's mayor on the anniversary of that crash. It happened at Connecticut Avenue and 5th Street. Bowman says she was awarded $24,000 in damages last December, but the insurance company refuses to pay up.
He was a drunk driver. And he had just got out of the program and he jumped out of the car with a beer can in his hand. And I had to call the ambulance again. The ambulance to go to Bridgeport Hospital. It was a drunk driver, and then 5 minutes apart, he hit another car.
The failure of this insurance company to pay what it owes, according to the court, is causing her possible eviction. And the insurance company must meet its obligation under the court settlement.
The mayor says his office is looking into that possible eviction to see if it can be postponed until the settlement is paid. Connecticut State Police among the many departments on the I-95 corridor in a national campaign, Drive to Save Lives. News 12 Connecticut's Nina Kapoor reports on this weekend-long push.
I-95, the corridor from Maine to Florida, is identified as one of the most dangerous highways in the United States, believe it or not.
On a daily basis, the 1,900 miles of roadway sees anywhere from 72,000 vehicles to 300,000 at peak rush hour. State troopers say with all that congestion comes a large amount of highway and traffic-related deaths each year. So this weekend, every state police agency located along the highway from Maine to Florida stepped up their patrols to prevent any fatal accidents with the Drive to Save Lives campaign.
It's a high visibility campaign, so you're going to see a lot of state troopers on the highway. And really, our number one goal is to have everybody comply with the law, drive safely, get where they have to get to safely.
Many drivers say their presence alone may create safer road conditions.
I always pay closer attention to the road when I see a police officer on the side of the road, so I guess that's a good thing to encourage people to pay attention and, not text and drive.
Distracted driving is one of many violations state troopers are on the lookout for.
If I see some crazy driving, I mean, a lot of people speed, many of us do, but I've seen some really crazy people flitting in and out of lanes.
Reckless driving is another issue troopers are aiming to curb.
Now, obviously, our goal every day is to eliminate fatality motor vehicle accidents, but this is just a concentrated, multi-state, multi-jurisdictional campaign that every state police agency along the East Coast are participating in.
In Stamford, Nina Kapoor, News 12 Connecticut.
Connecticut's auditors say the Department of Social Services may have provided Medicaid benefits to people not eligible. The Journal-Inquirer of Manchester reports an audit found the agency did not verify Social Security numbers of all possible clients. The auditors now recommend in some cases the department give money back to the federal government. The fight to legalize marijuana continues in Hartford. Tomorrow, the Judiciary Committee is set to vote on legislation on how the drug would be made legal. That bill would allow those convicted of marijuana possession to petition to have their records erased. The committee is also expected to vote on clarifying this. Employers do not have to allow workers to possess, smoke, or use pot or work under the influence of pot. Connecticut doctors are prescribing fewer opioids, but deaths remain high. Data from the chief medical examiner shows just over 1,000 people died in the state last year from accidental overdoses. Most of those were from opioids. Those numbers slightly down from 2017, but much higher overall since 2012. The Department of Consumer Protection says nearly 2 million opioid prescriptions were processed in Connecticut last year. That is down from about 2.5 million in 2015. A manhunt tonight in Stamford after the stabbing of a father and son outside Mystique Club on Poplar Street. It happened just after midnight. Investigators say the father and son were inside when the father became disruptive. They were both kicked out and then got into a fight in the parking lot with 3 other people. Police say the father pulled a knife to defend himself, but then got stabbed. His son got stabbed too. Their injuries described tonight as non-life-threatening. Officers say the suspect fled in a black BMW. An overturned truck this morning in New Fairfield causes a mess. Take a look on Route 39 in front of Icon's restaurant. The crash causing an oil spill coming from the truck. Police say no one was injured. The truck, though, needing a crane to lift it before it was towed. Officials say the road was back open tonight. In Woodbury, crews rescue people from a car that went into a pond. It happened this morning on Middle Road Turnpike. The Newtown Underwater Search and Rescue, along with Woodbury Volunteer Fire, responded. Everyone was found okay. Another shakeup for the Trump administration. Secretary of Homeland Security Kirstjen Nielsen out. She's at the center of this immigration crisis. White House officials say Nielsen had a meeting at the White House this afternoon with President Trump. This comes after all those mounting issues at the border. The president saying on Twitter Nielsen will be leaving her position, quote, and I would like to thank her for her service. Mr. Trump says the current Customs and Border Protection Commissioner will become acting secretary for the Department of Homeland Security. The 2020 presidential election is over a year and a half away, but hopefuls are already working 24/7 to get the job. And it was a busy weekend with campaign events across the country.
I also want to say hello to President Trump.
Senator Bernie Sanders.
Good morning. It is so good to be here.
Cory Booker.
Iowa, how are we doing?
Beto O'Rourke.
All right, whoa.
And South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg. All on the campaign trail working to drum up support for their 2020 White House bids. The list of candidates on the Democratic side is long, with each doing their best to stand out, hitting on issues like health care and immigration.
If we are this democracy, which we purport to be, it is on every single one of us, for as long as this persists, It is our responsibility. So not only must we never again separate another child from another mother or father who has brought them here, we must reunite every single one of them who has been separated.
President Trump also making an appearance over the weekend, speaking to the Republican Jewish Coalition in Las Vegas. There, the commander-in-chief compares asylum seekers to UFC fighters and alleges people are coached through the asylum process by lawyers.
The asylum program is a scam. Some of the roughest people you've ever seen. People that look like they should be fighting for the UFC. They read a little page given by lawyers that are all over the place, lawyers. They tell them what to say.
Mr. Trump also reiterating remarks from a Friday event saying, our country's full. Warmer temperatures are getting people outdoors across the state, and certain restaurants are cashing in as business is booming. Seasonal restaurants across Western Connecticut say they're doing great because of the weather. The co-owner of Riley's in Stratford says the warm weather is leading to a strong start. The season started in March. Richard Davis says it was cold and rainy in 2018, so less business. But he says this year customers are flocking to Riley's on the water in Lordship.
Once the sun's out and we have warm temperatures, it's great. People want to come out, they want to stay on the patio, they want to look at the water, have some nice frozen drinks, some cocktails, have some seafood. That's what brings out the business. The sun, hot weather.
Weather, he says, and great food. Was a great day for some of that today, meteorologist Michelle Bowers. But
indeed.
How about our work week after work Monday? How about we want to go get a little happy hour drink on a deck? Is that going to work like today?
It may work.
Oh,
it may,
right.
yes, because the rain will be exiting in the morning. The morning's not going to be great at all. And later in the afternoon, there may be a stray shower coming through. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. But I think most of our viewing area stays dry and it will be warmer. So let's take a look outside right now. That warmer air is beginning to move in now for the rest of the night. So that means temperatures aren't going to drop much more at all. In Bridgeport right now, it does look a little hazy. We are looking at an increase in humidity as that warmer air moves in. And waking up in the morning, we do have some rain. Now, look at this. We have a 90% chance of rain coming at us for tomorrow. There's a 20% chance on Tuesday, and then we're dry for a couple of days during the middle of the week before the rain comes back on Friday. Yes, we are going to be dealing with on and off rain showers. It is that time of year too. As we go throughout the overnight and into the morning, we are looking at maybe a 1/10 or 2 of an inch up to about a 1/2 inch of rain. And then there could be a little bit more coming through later in the day. Most of that will probably impact parts of Litchfield County, and that's why totals there could be a little bit higher, maybe a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch of rain there. So this is what's happening at the surface. We have the milder air in place, but there is warmer air south and west of us at the moment. That leading edge is what brings in the rain as we wake up in the morning, and roads will be wet for a time. Really, the rain will exit late morning into the afternoon, and then we catch a bit of a break here. This is where temperatures really rise. So highs are going to be well above average. Now, past Monday night going into Tuesday, there's still a chance of a few showers out there. It's going to be like a series of cold fronts coming through. Eventually, by Wednesday, all of this is done, but temperatures will be cooler. So this is what we're looking at by tomorrow afternoon, though. Highs in the 60s and maybe some lower 70s. That 7-day forecast is up next. Nick, back to you.
Michelle, thank you. Bridgeport is gearing up to host what is said to be the longest running all-star basketball game in the country for high school athletes. The Schoolboy Schoolgirl Classic is at the Cardinal Sheehan Center next Sunday. Organizers say the charity match is a collaboration between the Diocese of Bridgeport and the Greater Bridgeport Jewish community. The boys' game has some of the top players from Connecticut, New Jersey, while the girls will match seniors from Eastern and Western Connecticut.
Best of Bridgeport and Connecticut right here. This classic tournament shows teamwork at its best.
This year marks our 58th consecutive year of the game. Most importantly, the proceeds of the game are used to benefit underprivileged youth sporting activities.
Former UConn coach Jim Calhoun will be at the Sheehan Center for boys practice session Thursday night. Tickets for the Sunday game are available at the Sheehan Center. You can go to our website for more information as well. Texas Tech reaches the March Madness title game for the first time ever, and fans show their inexperience. Police used tear gas to break up chaotic celebrations overnight, escalating to a riot. Crowds set fires and flipped cars. The city of Lubbock calling the behavior extremely dangerous and disappointing. A bit more peaceful in Virginia.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be in this atmosphere, to be in this city, to be a part of it all. We're winning the whole thing.
Those Virginia fans celebrating after sneaking past Auburn last night. This is the scene in Charlottesville. The national championship game is tomorrow night. 2 days after Greenwich billionaire Ray Dalio and his wife gave Connecticut a $100 million gift to help schools, Bridgeport leaders come together to lobby for a piece of the pie. Our Frank Recchia was there too.
This is a great opportunity.
At Waltersville School, with parents, teachers, and local leaders, Bridgeport Mayor Joe Ganim said he plans to help the state's biggest school district get a fair portion of the $100 million gift for education given by Ray and Barbara Dalio.
To make sure that those resources go to the students, the children in Bridgeport.
It was Friday that the founder of the world's biggest hedge fund announced with Governor Ned Lamont that Dalio Philanthropies was making the bequest to help the state's struggling public schools.
And I'm really hoping that this money ends up in Bridgeport.
Parent Kate Rivera says education is severely underfunded in this city, and its schools need to hire more counselors, social workers, and school psychologists.
When compared to suburban districts, we have a third less of those important positions in our schools.
Ganim said the money should be earmarked for helping to increase graduation rates, hire more minority teachers, and reduce class sizes in Bridgeport. But other priorities were also included.
The money to help to keep these kids in school for the after-school program would be wonderful.
Hopefully this money would be also used for jobs for our youth.
But the leader said you can't spend money you don't have. So for now, the main goal is to get the cash.
I think that this could help a lot, and you know, if it's just in a small way, it will kind of encourage the kids that, you know, I want to come to school.
This is the opportunity we need for Bridgeport. We stand in solidarity on that. We want to make sure that we get the resources here so that our children can have the best opportunities.
In Bridgeport, Frank Recchia, News 12 Connecticut.
Governor Lamont says the state will match the gift and try to raise an additional $100 million from other donors, bringing the total potentially to $300 million. American Airlines is extending cancellations of the Boeing 737 MAX flights through June 5th now. American says about 90 flights a day will be canceled. Officials will contact customers affected by email or phone, they say. Boeing's 737 MAX under scrutiny after 346 people died in 2 crashes. A preliminary report of last month's crash appearing to point to a possible problem with the plane's anti-stall system. All of Boeing's 737 MAX planes grounded since that crash. Musicians come together today in Weston celebrating the arts to show support for a local church.
We're just so happy that everyone's here to support the arts and to support our church and to allow our church to support the arts. We've been a home to NPT for a while, and we're happy to support them.
And they're such a welcoming community for this whole area in Weston.
I don't want to be
Getting ready in the morning, make sure you have those umbrellas and rain jackets with you. We are looking at early rain followed by a little bit of sunshine, but unfortunately roads will be wet for that morning commute. We start off with some upper 40s and low 50s. As we head towards lunch and beyond, this is where we may see a few breaks in the sky, but a lot of clouds will be around. Temperatures warm. Much warmer than today. We're looking at highs climbing into the 60s, and there could be a few 70s. Now, this is what's coming our way late in the day. 4 or 5 o'clock, there may be a few showers passing through, but that doesn't really hit everyone. So for tonight, temperatures in the 40s and 50s. The rain will be starting now overnight. Take a look at that 7-day forecast. A little cooler on Tuesday, chance of a shower in the afternoon. It's dry Wednesday and Thursday, but colder, highs back into the 50s. We warm it up the end of the week, but there are a few rain chances starting around Friday. That's a look at your hyper local forecast.
Celebrating student artists, New Milford's Hunt Hill Farm tonight, holding an open reception for its 6th annual Student Arts Expo. It's part of their Emerging Artists program, and it features submissions from area high school students in painting, drawing, photography, and sculpture. Awards were announced. The exhibition runs through the 30th at the Henderson Galley, which is on the farm. Supporting a Weston church through music.
I could have spread my wings and done 1,000 things I've never.
Emmanuel Episcopal Church hosting Live from Emmanuel, songs from Broadway, gospel, rock. The a cappella group Yale Alley Cats, the featured performers. There's Broadway star and New Paradigm Theater founder Kristen Huffman, and the Bridgeport Boys Choir.
We're just so happy that everyone's here to support the arts and to support our church and to allow our church to support the arts. We've been a home to NPT for a while, and we're happy to support them.
And they're such a welcoming community for this whole area in Weston.
The Yale Alley Cats have been performing for some 76 years, and Bridgeport Boys Choir has been around for more than 20. News 12 Connecticut Nightside is back after this.